it's Aura and welcome back to my channel for another bullet journal video. And today is my 2021 bullet journal yearly setup, and I chose rainbow as my theme for this yearly setup. And as always, if you want to see the close-ups of all of my spreads, you can find them at the end of the video or at the time written on the screen right now. So for this new yearly setup, I decided to have a cover page that would symbolize this new year, and I chose 2022 ready for a new chapter as my quote because I really want to put 2021 away. If you're new to my channel or haven't watched my vlogs, I spent a lot of the year in the ER or hospitalized or just had a bunch of complications, and my chronic illnesses just weren't working with me. So I decided that 2022 would be a new chapter. So I just did this quote and then added a opened flipping book at the bottom. And I chose rainbow as my color scheme for the whole setup. And I use my Tombow markers, and I will put them on the screen so you can see all of them at once. And also I will have my Tombows linked in the description box down below if you're interested in any of those. And also all of the rest of the material that I'm using will be linked down below as well. And for this year, as I've been doing for the past year and a half actually, I am using my Dingbat notebooks, which this one is from the White Life collection, and I'm actually absolutely in love with this brand and I can't recommend it enough. So I always love using those, and they actually are a little bit bigger than your average normal journals, so that's why I love it so much. And we are already onto the key page, which I kind of remastered since my last yearly setup in July, I think. But basically I separated the page into two sections, one for personal and one for school, which is a lot longer. And for personal, I just did my normal symbols, which I have task, which is just a box, and then I have all the different meaning, so like started, finished, moved, and cancelled. And then I have a circle for event, and then I have appointments, notes, I have a present for birthdays, a paw for all my doggy stuff because I have a 1-year-old puppy, and then I have important and vacations. And then for the school part, I don't have a lot of symbols, however I do color code all of my classes, and I have 11, so it took a while. But the first thing is a book for homeworks, a clock for deadlines, a triangle upside down for tests, and then a question mark for questions. And then I have a square with the color corresponding to each one of my classes. I normally know it by heart, but I always prefer to just have it written down in one place just in case. And usually I would do a whole separate setup for all of my school things, but because it's not the start of the year, I just added those spreads to my yearly setup. So this double also as a setup for school if you're also a student. Those spreads are like more at the end, but you'll be able to see those as well. But we move on to the year at a glance spread, which is always the one that takes the longest to make. And this time I added the title at the bottom and started with the tiny calendars all the way at the top, just written the name of the month, always the first 3 letters, and I just did them in my rainbow order, and I designated a color for each month, and all throughout the setup, each time the name of the month comes again, it's the same color. I won't be using those as a reference in the rest of the journal, but I just thought it would be fun to do it like this. And obviously I do myself all the calendars, but if you don't want to lose all that time or risk making a lot of mistakes, it exists to print them or to have stamps. I don't want to do that because I just find it pretty therapeutic and I don't mind making mistakes. As I'm dyslexic, it's pretty hard to do, but also I just like doing those types for some reason. And if you notice like brief cuts, it's just because I had to take a few breaks in between just because my hand was hurting kind of bad. And I tried a new way of recording for once using my ring lights, just because we are in winter and there's no light after 4:30 p.m. so obviously it's pretty hard to be able to record and actually make quality videos. So I tried using a ring light to have a consistent lighting throughout all the video. So let me know in the comments if you liked it, and also if you have any theme ideas or themes that you want me to do throughout the next month for the year, then don't forget to tell me. I always like suggestions because finding themes can be really hard sometimes. And we are onto the year in pixel, which I kind of always do but never use, and I realized why finally, and that's because I always did moods, and it was sometimes hard to just find one mood or to have all the moods, because I needed a huge key to have all the moods. So this year I am trying something different, and instead of moods, I decided to rate how my day went. So I decided to go with stars rating, so from 1 star to 5 star, and just rate my day. So we will see if I do better this year. And if you want to see that, you can follow me on TikTok because I try to post my daily bullet journal setup while I use it, so you can definitely join me there. And as you can see, the bottom is not even, and that's because on the side I have the days from 1 to 31, and then I just don't do the boxes where the month is not. So for example, February, which is the second month, only goes to 28, so that's why there's like not lines around that. And at the top I used my rainbow colors in order for each one of the month and just wrote the first 3 letters sideways. So I had a little pop of color, but obviously not too much because the whole spread will be filled in with color in the end. And now we are onto my goals page, which is always something important to look for throughout the year. Obviously it's not a thing, you're not obligated to do that kind of spread in your own journal. You can set up goals whenever you want throughout the year. I just like to do it at the start of the year to keep me accountable and just to see whether or not I can do it. So we will see. I know that one of my goals was definitely done for 2021, and it was to have a well-behaved puppy, and that's the case. So I don't usually put myself through unreasonably big goals. I just try to have small ones, and I divided it in 4 categories, which is personal, school, YouTube, and other. And I want to say it now, thank you so much for every single one of you, because I reached almost 180 followers, which is insane to me. And I wanted to say thank you so much. And my goal for 2022 for December is to get 1,000 followers. So if you want to be part of this family and join in on the bullet journal journey, or even on the health journey, if you want to follow all my vlogs, that would be so amazing to have even more of you guys in this journey. But we are onto the birthday tracker, and I decided to go for a more minimal spread compared to what I do some other years. And I just did 4 columns and 3 rows of boxes with always the rainbow colors for each one of the month. And I just have a square to put all of the birthdays. I usually do like cupcakes or something fun, but I realized that it's not because it looks pretty that it encourages me to use it, and I honestly didn't have the time this year to do a fancy layout like I always do. Also, sorry for the fact that you can't really see the header. I didn't make the screen really that well when I was recording it, so really sorry for that. But I basically just wrote birthday tracker at the top and then added each name of the month in the little colored space, and I will have a lot of space to write all of the birthdays for the year. And the next spread that we have is a theme of the month for the whole year, and I'm so excited. I've never done a spread like this before, and I thought it would be kind of a cool idea and something new to try. Obviously, I will tell you guys later if it worked or not, if I actually used it. But I decided to have around a circle for each one of the month, and inside of it I will be able to put a little doodle for each theme that I decide. And I will probably just fill it in on TikTok every time I do a new monthly setup, but I just thought it was a really cool idea, so I am in love with this spread. And for the header, I just wrote the themes of the month. Kept it really simple, just with cursive lettering. And then we have my future log, which is once again all of the tiny calendars. Read it again. I only did it until, I don't remember if it was July or August, but I did one mini calendar, and this one is actually only for school, so that's part of my school setup, because I usually just put all of my tests and exams and all of that. So I keep track of everything, and I just use my colors to put which classes have those tests. And like that, I can keep really organized and also have them far in advance, even if the month is not done. And then once my monthly setup is done, I can just go back to this spread, see what tests I have on what day, and then I can just rewrite them in the actual monthly setup and my monthly calendar and all that, so I can keep track of everything and I have everything into one place. I usually separate each page into 2, so right in the middle, this one is 14 centimeters wide, so I do at 7 the line down the bottom, and I keep just a tiny section at the top to write the title, and then in the middle I do the calendar, and on the side is the weekly spread actually. And I didn't record it, but I did the second part of the weekly spread off camera, just because it takes a long time, and then I moved on to my calendars for January up till, I don't know if it was June or July, I'm not sure, But basically, usually at the middle of the year, I switched journals, so I didn't see why doing it the whole way through. Using always the same colors, I just did column for each one of the month, and I actually see now that it was until June, and I just did on the left side a complete column with the days from the 1st through the 31, and then I added which day it was, so using only the first day, so the first letter of each day, and that I did for each month. And then I can see, for example, for January, I think the first is a Saturday, and then continuing on with all of the days of the week, so I can fill it in important events or anything ahead. Same principle as the future log, except it's a little bit of a different layout. And it's my first time using this, but I hope it's going to be easier for me to see all of my appointments, especially because I have a lot of doctor's appointments that are super ahead, and I know like 6 months ahead that I'm going to be having those appointments. So I try to keep myself organized, and then I call it in every time there's a weekend, so it's easier and more visual for me to see when weekends are. And then at the bottom, when there's no days, so for example for February, when it stops, I just crossed the line so you don't see that there's a day. And yeah, I just think it looks super cool. I really love this part so much. I'm so excited to be able to use it, and I hope it's gonna be practical to use. I will tell you guys when I will use it a little bit more, but for now I don't know, because the year hasn't started yet. So I just added which month it is at the top of each column, and then I did the header, which is just calendar written in cursives, and then in calligraphic style cursives, and then Jan through June written, so I can see that it's from January to June, sorry. So that's pretty much the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more, definitely subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.